first of all, it was like I think 10 years ago. I saw this short movie called "I Love You, Sarah Jane,"
Oh, yeah.
and I remember that I thought, "Hmm, this young actress is going to become someone one day." I'm glad to say that I was right. So
Oh,
compliment on your career.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your character, Edith. Her similarities or dissimilarities, maybe, with the classical archetype of the dame in distress of the Gothic novel.
Yeah, she's very much a classic heroine in this kind of Gothic world. At the beginning, she's very spirited and ambitious, and also a little bit naive, and that ends up sort of being part of her downfall, and how she finds herself in this dangerous relationship, and yeah, and then having to kind of really find her way out of it.
You've already worked with Tom Hiddleston in a great movie called Only Lovers Left Alive, but you had just a couple of on-screen time with him.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about this new collaboration with him?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, as you said, we worked once together before in a very different film, in a very different tone, and playing, brother and sister, and then it was, really fun to. It's always nice when you've worked with somebody before and you know them, and to be able to, already have that sort of shared history. And then this, of course, was a much more intense, sort of longer film, and but yeah, it was great. It was really nice.
And what about your experience on set? Because I know that there was this huge set made for the house, the elevator, and so on. What it was like to interact with all these elements?
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. It was a 3-story mansion that they built on this stage, and the level of detail was so incredible and very beautiful, and that they could sort of turn or switch on a button and the walls would bleed with this clay, and it felt very alive and working.
Without spoiling too much, I've been very impressed and amazed by the third act of the movie. It was kind of unexpected in a certain way. So how have you prepared these last scenes, and were they particularly difficult to shoot?
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked shooting the last part of the movie because I spent a lot of it being, playing very sick or being quite passive, and so it was really fun to be able to be a bit more in charge. And yeah, it was really fun. It was all very, we had small amount of time to kind of rehearse stuff, and but it was all very organic and kind of evolved over the course of the shoot.
Did you spoke a lot with Guillermo del Toro about your character before shooting the movie, or even
Yeah,
during?
he gave us a biography for each of us, which talked about our characters' past and their likes and dislikes and very specific things and very broad things, and that was a really good starting point to kind of open up a discussion.
And what about working with two great visionary filmmakers like Guillermo del Toro and Tim Burton? Are there any similarities between them, or maybe not?
Yeah, I mean, they're both very visual, and they have very unique styles, very kind of different. I think Tim is so wonderful that he articulates things in a very visual way. And Guillermo also creates like a completely new world for you to inhabit.
As my last question, are you a fan of horror movies? Is there any particular horror movies that maybe you have used as a reference to shoot Crimson Peak?
I don't know that there was one that was used, but yeah, I like horror films. I like thrillers. I don't like the sort of slasher movies, but yeah, I really like, like The Shining is so different, but it also takes place in a big house, and I think that's such a great film. And,
So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.